Welcome everyone. In this video, I will show you how to quickly install my plugins into your projects. But first thing first, make sure you read this carefully before you are using my plugins. My plugins support two modes. Each mode will have different setup and implementations. If your projects are using Gameplay Ability System or GAS for short, make sure you are using this. Or I will recommend you to change to using Gameplay Ability System as your gameplay system. If you are not planning to use the GAS, you can use the generic mode. It also supports full features, but it does not support replications. You have to make your own replication system if you are making multiplayer games. I will show you how to install my plugin with GAS. You can follow along in this video or read this article. I will leave the link in the description below. So the first step is you have to prepare your characters. Open your character blueprints. Make sure you have these two components added. The first one is animation driven component and combo manager component. You can add this in your C++ classes or in the blueprints by pressing add combo manager, this one, and animation driven component, this one. Because you are using GAS, make sure that your ability system must inherit from the context ability system component. If you don't have your own ability system component classes, just use uContext ability system component in your character classes. If you don't know how to initialize your ISC properly, you can use my A-combo basic character classes to be the base classes of your character for easy installation. The second step is to create a new combo graph. Let's go into your editor, right click, search for combo graph, create it, name it cbg_demo. CBG stands for combo graph. So let's create our first node. It's an input branch node. Right click, search for input branch, create it. This node will wait for the player input and navigating to the corresponding node. Let's connect the root node into the input branch and click on the input branch. Focus on the right panel. We will add two input types into the input tags. We will specify the first input will be the normal attack and the second input will be the special attack. As you can see, when you're adding the inputs into the array, it will create a corresponding bin in the nodes. Let's create an execution node for each input bin. Create an execution node by typing execution. The same for the special attack. We don't need to create for the default because we only need to care if the player press attack or special attack. Any input different than this input will go into default. This node will execute an action that you define. Let's play a montage in this node. Select the node, focus on the right panel, create an action, play montage, drop down, select any montage that you want. Let's use AMGS combo 1. Do the same for the special attack. Play montage. AMGS combo 5. You can create your own combo action passes like the one right here. I will talk about this in the next section later on. In this case, we only need the player to play the montages, so that's why we are using play montage action passes. When you are finished with your combo graph, save it and return to the editor. The next step is to set up your combo graph on the characters. You can grant the combo graph on the character by default when the game starts. Select Combo Manager in your character blueprint. Default combo graph, let's create one. This combo graph will be granted when the game starts to the character. Let's select the combo graph asset CBG demo which we created. And this is very important. Make sure your graph instance has to be combo graph instance underscore ASC because we are using ASC mode. If you are choosing combo graph instance underscore generic or anything else, it may not work. It should only work when the base class of the instance is combo graph instance ASC. So we select this instead and then combine and save. The second step is to grant it dynamically in the runtime. Whenever you want to grant the player with a combo graph, get the combo manager out, grant combo graph, create a grant params, make combo graph grant params, and do the same. Select a combo graph asset, CBG demo, combo graph instance has to be underscore ASC, and then we can use this code anywhere when we want to grant the player with the specified combo graph. We can switch between different combo graph by using this function, set combo instance active. To get a combo instance, you can use get current instances, and we can select the offset index. For example, if we want to switch the current instance into the next instance, make sure this is 1, and then we connect this into the combo graph instance. You can go into CBB underscore player combo characters to see how I implement the same mechanics to switch combo graph in the runtime. We are very close to testing out our first combo graph. The last step is to make sure that all of the input tags in the combo graph, which is the combo graph.input.attack and combo graph.input.specialAttack, get triggered manually in the character blueprint or anywhere else. In this example, I am using the enhanced input actions, which listen whenever the player presses the left mouse button to perform an attack. I will trigger an input with a corresponding input tag, which is the combo graph.input.attack. Basically, it will go into the combo manager, get the combo graph instance, the active one. If it is on the input branch, it will check for the pin that have the combo graph.input.attack and executes this action. Finally, we can test our first combo graph. I will leave the combo graph panel here to show that the graph is working and to show which node is active. Let's go into the game. Let's press left button and right button. You can see that currently the player is doing only one attack at a time. So let's change some combos into the combo graph. Keep the editor open. We can clone the input branch by pressing Ctrl D. Connect the execute passes success bin into the input branch. We can clone this one too. Connect the attack bin to the new execution node. Change the montages. We can do the same for a new attack. Also change the montages too. And now make sure to save the graph. Go back into the game and press left mouse button. As you can see that the player is chaining the attack right now. If I do light like special, you can see that the combo graph is working perfectly. For the last part of this class tutorial section, we will check out how to trigger an ability through a combo graph and how to configure the animation montages to send the data like the hitboxes, the block, the input window into the combo graph. So first thing first, you can create a new gameplay ability by deriving the GA combat ability base, or you can derive from the combat ability C++ classes for blank implementations. When you use the blueprint base, I already implement for you the check hit functions. All you need to do is override the on hit functions, so whenever your actor hitboxes hit another character, you can deal damage or do anything you wish. You can see an example in here I have done for you. For this example, I will only play the hit reactions when a character hit another character. You should implement your own damage system here. So to trigger a gameplay ability, we will go into the combo graph demo that we just added. Let's remove everything here. Focus on the right panel. We will change this to gas activate combat ability. We will define the ability payload to be a combat ability data payload. Basically, you can see this payload as a parameter for you to configure before this data will be injected into the gameplay ability system to perform the gameplay logics. We set the combat montage like normal. Use AMGS combo 1. Make sure this is very important to specify the ability class. Let's use the example one. GA combat ability example. Make sure that when you specify the ability class, which is GA underscore combat ability underscore example, make sure that you also grant to the character the same ability, so that ability can be triggered. Let's do some more for the attack. Okay, now we can save it and test it out. You can see that the combo graph is working perfectly, but instead of playing the animation montages, it is now activating an ability and injecting the data payload to that ability to play the montages that you specified. You can use the console command by pressing the hyphen key, press debug, damage shape, and press 1. Now you can see that the hitbox is spawning on the player. Another important note when using combat ability, activate ability is a built-in function of gas, but I recommend you to use start ability, which is another function that I provide you in this plugin. You can see the context here. This context is the data that you put into the ability payload. This context is an instance struct. You can break it into anything you want by get instances value, break into combat ability data payload. Make sure the names matches together, as you can see here, combat ability data payload, combat ability payload, and then you can access any data that you put into here. In the last part, I will show you how to create an animation montage that works with the combo graph and also communicate with the gameplay ability system through the animation driven system. Let's create an animation montage. Select your skeleton, name it, and select any animations that you like in this attack. Let's choose this one. Let's create 3 notified tracks. The first notified type is a notified state called combo window. So let's create by add notified state combo window ans.gas. Make sure it is gas because we are working with gas. When the character is in this combo window or input window, any input that the character or the player make will be used to forward it to the next combo. When the character is outside of the combo window, any input will reset to the root node because you have failed to change the combo. We create another notified state called combo block. It is ans_gas_combo block. Usually it will be laid out like this. You have to make sure that the block procedure graph notified state will be from the beginning to the end, where you want the player to switch combo. When the character is in the block proceed graph notified state, it cannot continue to the next combo, only when the state ends. So any input makes in the input window over here, which is overlapped with the block proceed graph, it will be saved and re-trigger when the block proceed graph ends. The same things apply for when you input outside of the input window and outside of the block proceed graph. The graph will be reset to the root node here. But if you input inside the block proceed graph, it will not reset and will not do anything. The third notified is the hitbox notified. You can spawn any hitbox inside this. You can spawn any hitbox inside this animation montage. Let's create a hitbox for our right sword. Add notified state ADNS right sword. This one. You can scale it and preview it. You can change the timing of the hitbox so it can spawn longer. You can change the animation speed to 0.001 and play. So the debug hitbox is easier to debug and visible. You can go into the damage notified state, open the notified data, damage shape, the first damage capsule. You can add any damage shape as you like. You can change any properties in this and it will reflect on the editor. For example, if I want to make the hitbox longer, I want to make it larger, like this one, and let's set it down. And done. We have our first animation montage. Let's put it inside. Let's select the AMGS Combo 8 that we just selected. Save it, go into demo, let's test it. As you can see, the combo graph worked perfectly. You can damage the AI too. I will show you how to install my plugins using the generic way. First, make sure to prepare your character. Your character blueprint must have these 3 components: animation driven component, combo manager component, and gameplay task component. If you don't have this, you can add it in your C++ file, or you can add it in blueprints by combo manager, animation driven component, and gameplay task component. Make sure these 3 are added in your character blueprint. The second step is to create a combo graph. Let's go into the editor, press right click, search for combo graph, and name it. CVG stands for the combo graph. Let's open the combo graph. Let's create our first node, an input branch. Let's connect the root node to the input branch. This input branch will wait for the player input. So let's create a tag in an input tag. We'll create two tags and set it to normal tag and special tag. As you can see, as you added two tags into the list, the corresponding bins is spotted into the nodes. Let's create each execution node for each bin. That's the execution node, and the same for the special tag. This node will execute some action. You can use the execution node to execute some code in your system or calling some gameplay events. Let's create an action in this execution node. Focus on the right panel, execution passes. We will add an action into it. We will select an action to perform, which is a generic attack. CAB stands for Combo Action Passes. Each CAB will perform an action only. You can create your own CAB. I will teach you how to create one later. Let's select a montage. Make sure your montage is am_generic if you are using one of mine. I will show you how to create your own animation montage later, but for now, just use am_generic_1 for this tutorial. Do the same for this execution node. Select am_generic_2. Save graph. And for the next step, we will learn how to set up the combo graph on your character. Let's open your character blueprint. Go into the combo manager. Focus on the right panel where the default combo graph is. Add another element into it. Select the combo graph asset that we just created, cbg_demo. This is very important because you are setting up my plugin using the generic mode. So make sure the graph instance has to be combo graph instant_generic. If it is combo graph instant and combo graph instant in _asc, it will not work. So make sure you select this one, _generic. You can create your own combo graph instance in your C++ class or blueprint, but make sure that if you are installing using this mode, you have to make your class based on combo graph instant_generic1 because you are using generic mode. Save it. You can also add the graph for the character using the functions to dynamically add using grand combo graph. Let's make the grand param, and we will do the same thing for this one. Select the graph asset cbg_demo, and the graph instant, make sure it is _generic, not this 2-1, _generic. The last thing you need to do before we can play test our combo graph is to prepare the input that you specify in the input node. For each input tag, such as combo input attack, combo graph input special attack, you have to trigger them manually in your character blueprint or in your player controller. In this case, I am using enhanced input actions to trigger the input manually. I will listen for when the players press the left mouse button. For the input action attack, I will manually trigger the input with the corresponding gameplay tags, combo graph input attack. I will do the same for the special attack, with the input tag is combo graph.input.special attack and charge attack. You can go into cpp underscore player combo character to see the implementation. With that setup, I will play the game. I will leave the graph here to see that the graph works and to see what node the graph is on. You can see that the graph is working perfectly. Currently, there are no chain combo in this, so let's create a chain combo. You can duplicate this node, connect the execution passes to the input branch, duplicate the execution passes to, connect to attack, change the combo to AM generic 2 or any animation montage that you want. Save the graph and test the game. As you can see, now it's chaining the combo perfectly. For the next step, I will show you how to create an animation montage that works with the combo graph. Let's create an animation montage. Select your skeleton, name your montage. You can see the default 2 animation montage that I have remade for you in the demo. Select any animation you like. We will create 3 notify tracks for this. Let's add 3 notify tracks. You only need to know about 3 notify state types. The first notify state type is the combo input window. Make sure you are using ANS underscore generic underscore input window. This is very important because you are using the generic mode, not the GAS mode. Using ANS underscore generic underscore input window to create an input window or combo in window. In this input window, if the character is in the input window or the combo window, any input that the player makes will be used to execute the next combo. If the character is outside of the input window, the combo will fail and reset to the root node. The second notify state is the combo block state, combo block graph state. Using the ANS underscore generic underscore block graph state. Make sure that the block graph state has to be from the beginning to until you want your character to switch to another combo, somewhere like this. So when the character is in the block graph state, which is in the red section, they cannot do anything and they cannot switch into the next combo. When the player is outside of the block graph state, the player can input and the graph can be continued. So when you input between the input window and the block graph, the input will be saved and re-trigger when the block graph section ends, which is right here. The same applies for when your character input anything outside of the input window and the block graph section. It will reset the combo because you have failed to change your combo. So make sure that your player is input in the input window or the combo window in order to change your combo perfectly. The third notify state is the spawning hitbox state. You can use ADNS for both gas mode and generic mode. Let's create a hitbox on the right hand and the left hand. You can extend your hitbox lifetime. Let's create another track for the left hand. extend it so it evenly distributes. One tip is you can slow down your animation montage to 0.001 and press play to preview the debug. You can go into notify data, damage shape, drop down. You can change the shape, add new shapes, change the radius to be smaller, the hitbox to be longer, or this, and you can review it in real time. Now we have our animation montage set up. Let's put it into our combo graph. CBG demo, change this one to am_generic_3. Save it and we're gonna play it. As you can see, the newly created montages is working well with the combo graph. We're gonna use a command I provide in this plugin to debug the hitbox if it spawn or not. Let's press hyphen key, type debug.damage_shape space and 1. You can see that the hitbox will spawn in the game time. In order to use hitbox to deal damage, first go into CBB basic combo character for default implementation. Your character must have the gameplay task component added, as I have already mentioned at the beginning. From the gameplay task, you can write check hit for spawning the check hit gameplay task. This check hit task will be called whenever a character is being hit by your hitbox. For demo purpose, I only play the hit reaction to demonstrate how the damage box works. You should implement your own damage system here by dealing damage by using your gameplay code. Currently, you are using my own pre-made combo action pass called Combo Action Pass Generic Attack. You should create your own combo action pass to integrate with your combat system. To create a combo action pass, go to your editor, create a blueprint class, search for the base class combo action pass and create. Or you can go into the cap_generic_attack to check the default implementation. You should override two functions, the execute pass function and the get preview asset function. You can also override the get pass information to display the text in here. In the execute pass function, it will be called whenever the pass is executed by the execution node. You should do your gameplay logics here and return true or false. True or false will reflect on the bin navigation here, success or fail. In the get preview asset, you should return the soft object path of any object that you want to display its icon in the editor for better visualization. And one more thing, any variables that you need to export outside, like this montage here, it should be instant editable. And make sure that you won't change these properties in runtime, especially like this. You should not set any montages in the runtime execute pass here. You should only set the data on the character or the combo graph instant only, because this pass is being used for many combo graph. You can also create a condition nodes. Condition nodes will return true or false. The condition nodes works similar to the action passes, but it uses the combo condition pass. You can create a combo condition pass using create blueprint class combo condition pass, this one, or you can go into CCP for combo condition pass condition example. You should override the execute pass function and the get pass information. The get pass information will display the text here for better visualization. You can edit any text you want in here. The execute pass will execute and return the result is true or false. Keep in mind that the condition pass should not modify any variables inside. It should only do if checks here. You should not change any variable in the character, the combo graph instance, or even in this condition pass. You should treat this function as a constant function. To create a custom input in your combo graph, first, let's create another tag here by creating a new gameplay tag. We should begin the tags with the prefix combo graph.input.your tag here, your tag name. You should begin with this so you can be able to select in this panel. If you are not begin with this and you just make your tag name, it will not show up in here. You should begin with combo graph.input. Anything you like here. Select your source file and add new tag. Then select your tag name here. We can connect the your tag name input into the execution nodes. And then we will create another input actions. You can clone from the input action tag here to custom. Let's go into that file. You can modify the trigger condition here. You can make the input action to be triggered when the player press the button, but I like the player to hold and release the right mouse button for 0.5 seconds to trigger this attack. Let's go into the input mapping context here to add the new input action. I already create a new element here, so let's select the EA input action custom. Select this to be the right mouse button. Save it. Go into your player blueprints, CPP player combo character in my case. Use EA underscore custom to spawn the events. So whenever the input action is triggered, we will use the trigger input function from the combo manager to trigger the corresponding tags that we just created, which is combo graph.input.your tag name. Make sure that when you are using the input mapping context, you should add the mapping context to the player in the begin play, so the input could be received. So let's test out the game. You can see that if I click right mouse button and release it right now, it will do nothing. If I hold and release, it will do the combo.